Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're gonna be talking about my experience after 7 days of semen retention. So every single week on Mondays I'm gonna upload a video and I'm gonna update you guys on the experience. So the first thing that I've noticed is that after 7 days you start to want to work a lot. You start to have more energy. You know, you want to work and you want to, or maybe that's just my experience because of like the compound effect or whatever, but I definitely noticed, you know, a desire to work, a desire to, you know, be productive, at least lately. And I started to search for all kinds of jobs, and like I realized that, you know, I need to have an income and I need to build stuff, and like this building stuff has been in my head for a while now. But very recently I just became okay with working, I guess, and that's, I think, a pretty good thing, because you know, you have to provide for the people that you like. And okay, now what stuff is also on my mind? So one of the things is like, I feel like usually 7 days is like one of the milestones, right? So it's like 7 days, 2 weeks, then maybe 21 days, and then 30 days, then it's like 60 days, 90 days. I feel like 7 days definitely feels pretty good for me, because, and why I feel like 7 days is sort of a milestone is because obviously the first days, they are hard, right? It's like, imagine you are a drug addict and you just stop doing drugs or whatever. You might have, for the first 2 weeks, you might have a lot of withdrawal symptoms. So it's like you may feel on edge, you may feel all kinds of things, you know, and you might feel very burning desire to engage in drugs and whatever. But and there's a very good point to it as well, is like, you cannot beat any sort of an addiction just willpower alone. The only way that you can beat an addiction is when you submit to the higher power, you know, is when you realize that you are not the king of this world, you are not God, you did not create the universe, you know, God created the universe. So it's like, it's beautiful, you know, life is beautiful and it's not all that bad, you know. 2 weeks is, I feel like it might get a bit difficult after that, but I'm gonna tell you guys also my mistakes. So just because I want you guys to learn as much from these videos, I don't want you to just, oh man, like motivation or whatever. The problem is when you don't have good systems in store. It's like when you don't have a good schedule, you don't have things that, you know, change, things that are meaningful, and then you have a lot of empty time. And this empty time is very dangerous for a person with addiction, for a person with problems. Empty time, and then, like I always said in my previous videos, you know, there's boredom, curiosity, interest. These also lead to a lot of bad stuff. Now, I feel like there's a misconception in the world, and it's like, you're gonna do this practice and then you're also gonna like avoid everybody else in the world. But I feel like that's not good, because if you avoid everybody in the world, you'll just be by yourself always, and that's not very productive, because you need people, you need accountability, you need to be, okay, let's say there's people and you see some shortcomings in them. This is my mistake, is that very often when I see some shortcomings in people, I tend to have this, you know, perfectionist idea, and like judge people based on their shortcomings too much, but this is not beneficial for you even, because if you can overlook their shortcomings and just think about the fact that, for example, you have a person, right? And there's another point to it as well, is like every single one of us, we have a lot of shortcomings. We are not like perfect people. So when you have this perfectionist idea that like everybody in the world is like not good and that you are so amazing, but that's not true, because especially if you doing God knows what, and then you have these super high standards for whatever. I don't mean, okay, when you're looking for a wife, yes, sure, because that she'll be the mother of your children, but it's like if you have extremely high standards for just people you associate with, you overlook a lot of opportunities in life. Whereas some person, you might dislike him due to personality mismatch or whatever, but there's a lot of benefit that you can gain from a relationship with this person. For example, maybe he knows a lot of stuff that you don't know, but then due to your own ego and the fact that he offended your ego, you are not willing to learn from him. But if you keep up this mindset, of just being like extremely egotistical, you will not grow in life. That's the point, is like, I feel like these people, they are looking at others people's ego and they're like, oh man, I don't want to associate with them. But I feel like that is ego itself, because you are not perfect. You are not somebody who is without flaws. You have flaws. For example, I will give you just a random flaw. Maybe when you wake up, you doom scroll or whatever, and I do that as well, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Then you could be like some perfectionist, oh man, I don't want to associate with this guy because he doom scrolls over there. Okay, but then maybe this person you can benefit from a relationship with him. And then like, if you're gonna have this high standards, well, you're not gonna have any friends in life. It's like you will just always be lonely. And this is something that I realized. It's like all of these very unnatural ideas about perfection and all this stuff, they will essentially lead you to complete and utter isolation in life. I do not believe isolation can be good, unless if it's for like a temporary period where you are building yourself up. Because if you're gonna want to, let's say, grow a business, you'll need to network with people, you need to do so. I don't think as a human being, without networking, you can grow in life. I don't think that's possible, because how can you grow in life? You're not gonna get knowledge unless you speak to the people, unless somebody, he sees some pattern or whatever and you learn from him. I don't think it's possible to grow as a person unless you are networking. Man, this video has been so many points, and I did not plan to make it like 10 minutes long. I just thought, oh man, I'm gonna give you guys a short update or whatever. Now, man, 7 days is like pretty good. 7 days is pretty good. I'm really looking forward and hoping that God allows me to reach a good streak this time. And yeah, I'm looking forward to working, I'm looking forward to improving myself, I'm looking forward to being a better person, and for my own benefit, and also for the sake that God created me and he did not make me someone that will be a hedonist. I don't believe in that. And there's another point, it's like this hedonism, it doesn't really give you any joy anyways. It's just empty and vain. So it's like, do you really even need it? You're only indulging because you have some sort of an addiction. I feel like one of the root problems with lust is that a person he really seeks external validation too much, and I feel like that's also a deep-rooted issue that I have. Is like you are seeking external validation way too much. You know, you base your self-worth on how others perceive you, and I feel like this is a deep issue that I have no clue how to resolve it. But man, I don't want to drag this video on too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and peace.